Hi, I'm Pete Cantu. I'm the mayor of Plainsboro Township, and I want to welcome you to Eye on Plainsboro today. I'm glad to be back with a new segment. Today we have with us our brand new police chief, Eamon Blanchard, and also later in the program I'll be introducing Neil Lewis to the program. He's our liaison, long-term committeeman and liaison for public safety. So we'll be dealing with that later in the program. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you on your appointment as chief.
Thank you very much, Mr.
And I should add, not just chief, but public safety director. So you have a broad responsibility for public safety in the community. I know you'll do an outstanding job, and you have a great group of people to work with, and I know you'll provide outstanding leadership for those folks. Maybe a good place to start, Eamon, is to talk a little bit about your first, I guess it's about 2 months now, right?
Yes.
In the job, and kind of the things that you can highlight from those first 2 months and what your goals are, frankly, for the future.
So yes, my first 2 months, it's been an exciting experience for me as police chief and director of public safety. The first thing I did was do a complete evaluation of where we're headed and what the expectations are of the officers, what the expectations are of the community. Just a total audit, essentially, of what we're doing and where we're going. So really the initial phases are just establishing a game plan which demonstrates our effectiveness and how efficient we are at serving the community and working with our township colleagues to make sure we're providing the best service overall to the community.
What did you discover from that kind of assessment?
Well, I discovered that we have a very educated and competent police force. We have a very educated and competent public safety sector, and we have an extremely competent and effective group of township colleagues that we work with that are providing excellent service to the community now. But as with anything, we can always find room to improve in certain situations. So therefore, we're creating initiatives such as Project Safe Roads that's going to really help, I think, solidify our role in providing the best service and providing the community with the most safe environment they could possibly live in.
Are there any, I assume when you did that kind of review, while it's preliminary in nature,
Yes.
I assume that other goals, we're going to talk about safe roads a little later in the program, but I assume other goals were crystallized in your mind as far as what you want to accomplish.
Yes, absolutely. So really the assessment of the police department and the whole public safety sector, it's very important to make sure we're maximizing our resources, that we're not wasting resources, we're being efficient, we're being effective, just doing a study of our personnel, making sure we're using our equipment effectively, making sure we're up to date with all the latest federal, state, and local guidelines in terms of how we apply our services to the community. So a variety of aspects that we've looked into, that I've looked into, that I've used to create a 100-day game plan. So in that game plan, it's just, again, assessing our personnel needs, assessing the community needs, and assessing how well we're going to continue to work with our township colleagues in the various departments throughout the town.
You touched on it a bit, but I think you also have taken seriously your role as a broad role as public safety director as well, and looking at not just police, but looking at the other components of public safety.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Yes, yes. So I've met with the leadership in both the fire department and the rescue squad. You're just seeing what their needs are, what the future holds for those organizations. Just looking at their needs and their effectiveness and efficiency moving forward. We have to really plan for the future. That's the goal, to make sure we continue providing the best service to the community.
That's good to hear. Anything further you'd like to comment about your first 2 months? Is probably not fair. Too much detail on this, but I know you got off and running, I think, in your responsibilities, and that's great.
Yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to serve the community. Plainsboro has provided me with an exceptional quality of life, and I hope to return that to the community. And I thank the Township Committee, and you, Mr. Mayor, for giving me the opportunity to be police chief here. and to be Director of Public Safety.
We're delighted to have you, and it's a well-deserved promotion to Chief and Director of Public Safety. I want to talk a little bit now about the Safe Streets program. You probably thought it was a little premature, but I asked to meet with you early in your appointment, after your appointment, I think probably in a couple of weeks into it, and talk about something, a couple of things. One is this stuff you've kind of alluded to, the organizational structure on public safety. But the thing we're here today to talk about is the other thing that I've always felt is a priority in this community, and that's safe roads and streets. And out of that meeting, I think we crystallized on a kind of a program to address that. And I'm delighted with your reaction and response to it, because you took what was a discussion and you created a program, and a program that I think was consistent with what we talked about, a multifaceted program to try to achieve safer roads and streets in the community. If you could, why don't you talk about this multifaceted program that I've alluded to? Absolutely.
So Project Safe Roads, it was a great initiative that we came up with together. Really the foundation of this initiative is education. The key to making the community safer, making the road safe in Plainsboro, is really educating the public, educating students, educating children about the best ways they can keep the road safe and keep each other safe. So we're out there, we're providing social media education through social media about the best ways to not drive distracted, the best ways to operate your bicycle when you're on the roadways, pedestrian safety, those types of things that are going to keep everybody safe and make sure the families and children within Plainsboro are safe throughout their daily experiences. So that's first and foremost is the education component. We're in the schools trying to work with the schools to teach new drivers about the importance of driving not distracted, not using their cell phones, not talking to their friends while they're driving throughout Plainsboro and wherever they may travel. So that's really important, I think, the education component. The public messaging is the second component of it. Getting the message out there that this is the initiative we're taking to make sure everybody is safe. Your neighborhood is safe, your friends and family are safe when they're traveling in Plainsboro, and just explaining to people that there are certain things that behaviors that you're potentially doing, driving, riding a bicycle, or walking within Plainsboro that need to maybe be corrected, and you could do things a little safer, so pay attention a little bit more and understand that the messaging we're putting out, the education we're putting out is going to help everybody maintain a safer environment. One of the other phases we're going to be conducting is essentially enforcement. You're going to see police officers pulling motor vehicles over, pulling cars over. You may get stopped. If you do get stopped by a police officer, don't panic, don't be nervous about it. We're just there to explain to you what you may have done that we observed that could potentially be dangerous to your neighbors and families and friends. And then also we're going to have a measurement component of it where we're going to measure our success to see how well we reduce certain behaviors such as traffic accidents and other incidents where people may get injured via being a pedestrian or on a bicycle, and make sure we're keeping up with those statistics to demonstrate to the public that our efforts are effective.
There's a couple of critical components here. I think that when we talked about the importance of not making just an enforcement program, but to begin with better communications and education for the public. I think that in many cases people don't understand. They don't understand the rules of the road, and as a result, we get a less safe situation. So I think that's really critical. The other part of it that I think is impressive, and I know I see it happening today, and I'm glad it is happening, is the coordination with other township agencies, identifying things that are not necessarily enforcement of traffic regulations, but identify things like unsafe conditions on the roadway, signage that's deteriorated. I see new signs, and I think that's coming from communications that you guys are initiating with our public works people. I see it focus on better better lining of the streets so people can see better at night.
Yes.
And I see a number of things like that. So obviously, you've got off and running with this program, and you're getting cooperation from all the elements in the community, which is critical. I think it's absolutely critical the program's going to be a success. Do you have anything you'd like to add? I just want to, number one, I want to congratulate you on putting together, out of initial discussions, a comprehensive program. And two, almost immediately beginning to implement that program. How is it being perceived within your the folks in the police department?
So it's been great. We've had great feedback from not only the community groups that we've been out discussing this initiative with, but also from the police officers, understanding that they play an important role in maintaining the safety of the roadways. Also working very well together with our Department of Public Works. They've been an exceptional help in working with us to identify potential roadway hazards or things that need some basic improvement. And we work with them closely, we report to them, and they get the job done to make sure the lane markings, like you discussed, or signs are clear and visible to everyone. So that really enhances the safety of the roads on a daily basis and on a continual basis. And it's been great, working with not just the Department of Public Works, but all our township colleagues, where we discuss and talk about what do you see out there that we may not see from an enforcement standpoint or an education standpoint or a roadway enhancement standpoint. So we take feedback from not only the community but our township colleagues and work together as a team to make sure we're keeping the community as safe as it's always been and continue to keep it safe in the future.
I want to thank you for joining me today on this and addressing what I think is a very important issue. But I also want to close by thanking you for your service, and I would like you to carry a message back to the folks on the street that we appreciate their good service to the community. It's visible. We see a ramping up of this program, and we have nowhere to go but up, frankly, as far as it's concerned. And we look forward to seeing it progress as we see measurements of the program. So again, Eamon, thanks you for your service, and ensure that you express it back to your troops, okay?
Thank you.
Our support. That concludes this portion of it. I'll be introducing Neil Lewis now, who's a long-term liaison for public safety, who's going to talk about how he sees the importance of this type of program to the community. Neil has been on Township Committee for not as long as I have, but a long time, and has served the community well. So with that, I'll introduce Neil Lewis to talk a little bit more about the program and how he sees the impact on Plainsboro Township. Thank you.
I'm Neil Lewis, Public Safety Liaison for the Township of Plainsboro. I'm here today to give you a little information about the ongoing projects that are taking place in Plainsboro with regard to public safety, and in particular, a particularly exciting program called Project Safe Roads, which is dedicated to making our roads safer as we move into the new school year and as we focus our attention on making sure that as pedestrians and as drivers, we're all paying attention to make the roads in the community safer for all of us. Plainsboro Township has been blessed to have a highly effective police department that has paid a lot of attention to our safety in the schools and in the community at large. As we've moved out of COVID and moved forward, this is a time for all of us as pedestrians, as drivers, to pay more attention to the general safety within the community and the way in which we can all ensure that this is a community that's a place where we can all be happy to live, work, and to raise a family. We look forward to all of you participating, and we encourage you to look at the possible places for information from our police department on the website and on the Plainsboro website to keep abreast of all of the new changes that are coming forward and our exciting new projects. Thank you.
That concludes our program today. I want to thank Eamon, our new police chief, and Neil Lewis for being with us today and covering what I think is a very important project. I'm going to close now. Hope to see you in the near future for another Eye on Plainsboro. Thank you all for joining me today.